Yo, fourth and fifth grade. As I mentioned last week, I'm just going to show you the cards, talk about the origin, some examples. It's up to you to make your own this time. And I'll show you a couple of mine at the end, but I urge you to do these on your own first. Then you can check mine. Maybe you want to add to yours, or maybe keep yours the same because you're awesome. The first Morpheme card of this week is these two. Log O or logy. Now I want to specify this. We're only going to be looking at this one, and we're most concerned with this morpheme today, logy. All right. This always has to do with studying something. Whenever you see this at the end of a word, it's usually at the end. It refers to the study of. It's very scientific. It's a science type of thing. For example, the word biology. That's the study of life on Earth, all forms of life. Biology studies life. So for example, I have this little baby here. Some scientists use models, things that are not real, to study life forms. Yeah, we could study this baby's features, and that would be the form of studying life. Another word which is great to use is physiology. That has logy at the end. It has to do with the study of life. All right, so you've got biology and you've got physiology. And you know that it means the study of this word. All right. Or this morpheme means the study of. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Meter. Meter. Either way. Okay, now this refers to measuring something. It's like a morpheme for a symbol of measurement. It's also Greek. So I brought something that can be used in the metric system of measure, and that is a tape measure. It's got measurements on this, and you can easily use it to see how long something is, like if you're doing some construction or if you're building something. Great little handy tool. So one option for this would be simply the word metering. Like if you're metering something, you're measuring how long it is in meters. A word for this would be metric. The metric system is a system of measurement. Okay? There's centimeters, there's kilometers, there's decimeters, and there's simply meters. Those are all part of the metric system. And last, we have here a third card, micro. Anything that, whenever you see micro, it doesn't matter what the word, it's always going to mean small or tiny. It's certainly Greek in origin. A microscope. What does a microscope do? Well, if you look in a microscope, it allows you to see things that are tiny. It allows you to maybe look at microorganisms, tiny little creatures that are alive, but are so small that we couldn't see them unless we had a microscope. But micro doesn't have to mean that tiny. I have here a small hammer. It is micro-sized. A hammer for a grown-up on a real construction job, when you're building something, is much bigger and much heavier. This is a micro-sized hammer. Knock some sense into me. So, here come the cards that I'll show you that I made. But I urge you, I invite you to pause the video now, make your own cards. If you have to rewind this so you can go back and look and remember, you can. All right, but it's up to you to make your own this time. Good job. So if you remember, we're only focusing on the logy. That's why I put a star next to it. All right. It is the study of something. It's Greek. I wrote down the examples biology and physiology, and then I have a little picture of a nature scene. A tree, an owl inside, a butterfly, a fish in a pond. Those are all forms of life. And someone like a person whose career it is to study life would look at these types of organisms, plants and animals, and see how they interact and how they're made. The next card was the measurement one, meter. And I wrote that it is measure is the meaning, anything having to do with measurement, metering and metric. I wrote a little centimeter ruler as my picture. It measures things in centimeters. There you go. And last we had micro. We knew that micro meant anything that is small or tiny. Microorganism, microscope, and I will draw a picture of my microscopic, maybe I can draw a little tiny single-celled organism, or maybe I'll just draw my micro hammer, because that was pretty cool. Doesn't look too micro right here, but trust me, it is small. Good job, folks. See you next week.